gorgeous day out here. Goodness gracious. Sunny skies. I mean, just, what do you know? What do you know? Fantastic day. Unfortunately, I didn't make it out to Cars and Coffee this morning. I thought the showing wasn't going to be great. Plus, the whole Tesla turnout. I don't know if it's windy out here. The whole Tesla thing, it actually got moved to next weekend. So, like, over 95% chance I will be at Katie's Cars and Coffee next Saturday. Today I did not make it. I got to sleep in. No, I haven't slept in a long time just because of work and Cars and Coffee. Anyways, today we're heading down to the Tesla, obviously, like always. We're going to hit up a Supercharger. The reason being, I'm going to show you a little hack. Not just for Superchargers, though. It's for any type of chargers. But the key here is that Tesla will start charging you idle fees if your car is done charging and it's just sitting in a Supercharger. So I'm going to show you a way to avoid those idle fees. Yeah, stay tuned. Hey. All the way down on G4. Whoa, there she is. She's looking good. She's always looking good. There's the Ferrari under a cover. Here's the Tesla not under a cover. A nice wide parking space all the way down on G4. Welcome back to the Tesla, guys. Welcome. If you're new to the channel, new to the vlogs, I'm Kyle. This is my Tesla, and I'm gonna show you a little charging hack, so you don't have to pay idle fees at Superchargers. Or, on another note, in my building, they sent out a message saying, hey, if you're not charging, move your car. You know, also if you're in a charging space, it looks bad if you're not charging, because then it's like, well, you're wasting a charging space, and well, that's fair. However, let's get out of the garage. Alright, so real quick, for those of you who don't know, if you tap the screen, you get this extra menu here, and if you click the bottom one, it's Superchargers, and it shows you a map of closest Superchargers and where they're at. So you can go into here, I can tap Supercharger Gaithersburg, Maryland, and now it is navigating to that Supercharger. Awesome. Right now my car's at 164 miles of range. Last night I got back at like 8:30 Friday night, and well, I was a little triggered. So that plug-in Mercedes was in the spot. Now, nothing against plug-in vehicles charging, using the battery, you know, that's kind of the point of them. But when you're in a building with two other Teslas that are fully electric and rely on those chargers to drive the next day on the weekend, I also don't have the Mercedes number, so I don't want to tell the Tesla guy to move so I can charge, because I don't know if he was done charging. Either way, that's not the point. The point I'm just trying to make is, if you're sharing a charger with people and you don't need it, a Friday night isn't the best night to use it, and it's only 8:30. If it's like 11 o'clock and you come home and it's open, by all means, just pull in, plug in, whatever. But, you know, I don't have to go to the Supercharger today. Well, I kind of do. If I drive tonight, either way, I only have 164 miles, and I don't have any other way to charge if I don't go to a Supercharger. And anyways, let's just get to the Supercharger and we'll get to the little hack, because it's helpful. It's helpful for the Supercharger. It's also helpful in my building, and I'll get to that in a second. Woohoo! Also, Superchargers, you can see how many stalls are open and how many are taken based on those little red dots. Red means it's taken. There's 2 open stalls out of 12, I believe. So hopefully there'll be 1 or 2 open when I get there. Alright, so we just got off the highway. We're almost to the Supercharger. There's exactly 3 open right now. Things change at a moment's notice, so we're still like 2 minutes away, I guess. We gotta drive through. We gotta wait for this light, and then, well, yeah, it's like right over there. Alright, all the Superchargers are right here on the right-hand side. I don't know if there are any open, but I think there are. I think they're just way far down. Taken. Here we are. 1 available. I I also don't like that you pull straight into these because, well, they're very hard to get into. Whoa, what happened here? Hope it works. That got real messed up. Someone must have dropped it and ran it over. Whew. Well, it's starting to charge. So far, so good. Okay, so, guys, actually, you may not be able to hack the superchargers. I may have lied. I'm not even fast forwarding this. That's just how quickly that number's climbing. Seems like we hit a peak of like 75 kilowatts, 70 kilowatts, 236 miles an hour. Okay, so to give you some context, we got a Tesla there, we got a Tesla there. If you look at our charging number, 1B. The way that superchargers were originally set up, I don't think they're doing this for the V3 superchargers, but originally they were set up kind of as like 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B. So whenever you pulled into a supercharger, the key was don't pull into a supercharger that would be shared. The number is shared with somebody else, because what will happen is it will throttle your charge rate until the other person is done charging. And I still believe that's the case. However, obviously when it's full, there's nothing you can really do about it. So yeah. Anyways, so when I came in here, my original intent was to show you when you're charging, a lot of times what you can do is you can change the current when you're charging your vehicle at your house or at like a charger in my garage. The supercharger does not allow you to do this, which is smart, because you don't want people to come into a supercharger and charge at a slower rate than what their battery or, you know, battery capacity is capable of at any given time. That was going to be the little hack I was going to say. But another way to make sure that you don't get charged for idling is, normally when you come into a supercharger, I would say that most people have their battery limit set to here. You really only want to charge all the way up when you're actually going on like a long trip. So if I hit done, what'll happen is it says time remaining is 30 minutes. Now this simply means that if I'm not back in 30 minutes when my car's done charging, I'll start getting charged. Let's see if we can find the idle fees for this supercharger. Okay, so if you tap on the supercharger, right here it says 0 of 12 stalls available. I got the last one. 120 kilowatts max. Idle fees up to $1 a minute. That's pretty wild. Basically, if I have my limit set to that like 90% mark or whatever percentage that is, and it's been 30 minutes and my car is fully charged, Tesla will start charging me $1 per minute that my car is sitting here taking up a stall. Now obviously you don't want that to happen, so if you normally only charge to that amount and you don't want to cut it close, I would still say come and move your car as soon as possible, especially if all the stalls are taken, because, well, you're not allowing somebody else to charge. Like right now there is another Tesla waiting, so kind of feel bad, but I need to charge too. But the hack is just set the limit to all the way up, and when I hit done, just for that little bit extra, it's going to take another 20 minutes. So this gives you a little bit of leeway to, you know, get back to your car and make sure that you don't get charged those idle fees. If you don't need the full 50 minutes, do not take the full 50 minutes. It's not worth it. The battery will taper down or throttle the charge amount that it can take when it gets more full. Therefore, it charges much slower as you get more and more full. So I really wouldn't sit here, you know, past, my car gets 253 miles, you know, once I get to like 220, 230, there's no point in staying here anymore. I'm definitely gonna head out. That's kind of a tiny hack, because obviously you can't change the amperage that your car takes at a supercharger. I actually wasn't aware until I just showed up. So, but that's still a little hack. Just increase the limit all the way. That way you have a little bit more buffer room to not get charged those idle fees. Also, I think it helps your car take the maximum amount of charge longer. So anyways, if I can, and one of the charging stalls is available in my building, I'll show you guys how to adjust that as well to make it look like your car is charging and you're not just taking up a space. And I'll get into that more in a second. Oh guys, another way to make sure that you're charging faster, turn your AC off and get out of your car. guys, come on. You didn't really think there was a way to hack Tesla charging and not paying idle fees. I mean, let's be honest. Tesla's got it figured out. It's their own network. But if you do want a little bit extra time, just bump your battery capacity all the way to 100%. And remember, you can always adjust it from your phone app. So if you want to bring it back down or stop charging at any point in time, you can do so from your phone, which is pretty nice. It's so sunny out here, I didn't even realize it was on camera mode, not video mode, so I do apologize. But I got a notification on my phone. It says, you know, at 1:12 p.m., your Tesla's at 80% charging capacity. Idle fees may apply once battery is completely charged. So it gives you that notification on your phone. But once we're in the charging screen, you can scroll down and see that there are actually 0 of 12 available. So that's not good. I don't want to overstay my welcome, but I do want to make sure I get a nice full charge. So I'm gonna wait just a little bit longer. Gets maybe like 220, 230 miles of range, and then we'll head out. But just a little life hack, I guess, Tesla life hack. Just move that capacity all the way up, especially if nobody's waiting. It just gives you that little bit of buffer time, and you'll get a couple extra miles while you're walking back to your car, but you don't have to pay those idle fees, and that's key. Now, I don't have to pay for supercharging. Some people might have to pay for that, so you don't want to pay more on top of paying for supercharging. Just little things to pick up on when you get a Tesla. Oh, see, another Tesla. All right, so if we get back here, tap the little charging icon. 25 minutes still remaining, but we're at 227 miles of range. Not too shabby. We're still charging at 85 miles an hour, 25 kilowatts. Obviously, you can't adjust this stuff when you're supercharging, which is good. It doesn't let people charge slowly when the point of supercharging is to charge fast. There's that. And yes, even though I'm grandfathered into free unlimited supercharging, I would still have to pay idle fees. At least that's my understanding. I've never actually paid idle fees because obviously I don't just park at a supercharger for hours on end and not like utilize the supercharger and then get out of there. But that's besides the point. We are almost 230 miles of range. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go back to my garage. It's a beautiful day outside, guys. I mean, I'm getting outside. I'm gonna go for a run. I might go sit on the rooftop afterwards. But yeah, anyways, let's get back to my garage. If that charger's open, I'm gonna go over a couple more things. But let's roll. All right, you gotta love that nice full battery. All right. Of course, the Mercedes and the Tesla are both still there, both fully charged. All right, well, let's see if I can show you anyway. So if we hit the little lightning bolt for the charging, if you come into here, so when you're not supercharging, you can still set the limit, right? So you can set that all the way up. Trip, it tells you like useful for road trip, charging to this level will take longer, daily. Down here though, you can change your current. So if you increase your current a max of 80 amps, it will take as much up to whatever you set it to. So the standard amount is usually 30 amps. Most like level 2 chargers, I believe, do it around there, not 100%. Don't quote me on this. But anyways, what you can do is you can tap this down and say, oh, I only want to pool at, 10 amps, for example. Now, by doing this, you're going to charge slower. But if you're in a building like mine that sends out a passive-aggressive email saying, please do not use the charging spaces as parking spaces. So they want you to like move your car as soon as you're done charging. Now, there aren't a ton of like charging vehicles in our garage. And the point is that if we're parked there like for the evening, I'm not going to come down in 5 hours at like 11:30 at night to unplug my car and move it. I'm going to leave it there overnight. But if you want to make it look like if you actually want your car to just charge slower, and therefore when somebody looks at it, it will be charging, you can set this amperage to a lower rate, and then your car will, I can't show it now, but the time that it takes would obviously increase. Therefore, your car would stay charging all night long. And if someone in your building were to look at your car, it wouldn't be done charging and just parked there. It would still actually be charging. So you could actually put that all the way down to like 1 amp, and your car could be charging for like 3 days. So if you're ever in that situation, maybe you're the only car in your garage, but you're, front desk is sending passive-aggressive emails. You know, just turn your amps down, let your car charge for as long as you want, and just park your car there, and then claim that their chargers are charging at a slow rate. I obviously don't really condone this, except for, you know, those one-off situations where it sort of makes sense. Yeah, you want to share the chargers, you want to share the love, and don't park in superchargers longer than you need to. But if you want to bump the rate so you don't get hit with idle fees, and then make sure you still move your car in a reasonable amount of time, I'm all for that. You got to do what you got to do when you have a fully electric car. I mean, obviously, you don't want to pay extra, but you also want to make sure you get that full amount of charge out of it. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave it today. Just little Tesla life hacks as far as charging goes, making your car look like it's well, it would be charging for longer if you're in like a spot where, you know, it doesn't matter because nobody else is waiting on you. Hope this was helpful. If it wasn't, whatever. If it was, please consider liking and subscribing, especially if you're enjoying the content. But I think that's going to be it for today. I think I'm going to just go enjoy the nice weather. It's gorgeous outside. I'm going to go for a run. I got some birthday celebrations with a friend later. Then we're going to Topgolf. So not going to vlog that. My life isn't that interesting. Or maybe it is, but not enough people are interested. So no point in vlogging that online. Anywho, I think that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed these little charging hacks and stuff. But thanks for watching, guys.